Hey everyone, it's October 25th, and that means that if today is your birthday, you share with German serial killer Friedrich Haarmann, known as the Butcher of Hanover, who murdered at least 27 boys beginning in 1918. And that is him right up there. Haarmann was born in 1879, the sixth child in a poor family, and was molested by a teacher when he was 8. He didn't enjoy stereotypical boy activities, instead preferring to play with his sisters and their dolls. A poor student, he enrolled in a military academy at the age of 15 and did well as a soldier. He began to suffer from seizures after a year of training, however, and was discharged. Haarmann took a job at a cigar factory in Hanover, and in 1896, at the age of 17, first committed a terrible crime. He was arrested for molesting children, but was found mentally unfit for trial and was sent to a mental hospital. After 7 months, he escaped and fled to Switzerland, where he lived for 2 years before returning to Germany in 1900 when he was required to perform mandatory military service. An excellent marksman, he was again discharged for medical reasons in 1902 and was granted a full pension, so he returned to his parents' home and began to work with his father. They fought often, even causing Haarmann to be arrested, so he moved on from working with his dad and embarked on a career as a thief and conman. He served several short stints behind bars for various petty crimes and became an informant for the police in order to reduce his sentences. Haarmann was locked up at the start of World War I in 1914 and was released as it was ending in 1918. When he was released, however, he didn't just go back to petty crimes. His crimes escalated to a terrible extent, killing at least 27 boys and young men over the next 6 years. Early on, Haarmann was caught with a teenager in his apartment, but he served just a 9-month sentence for molesting the boy and returned to his activities. His MO was to pick up commuters and runaways around railway stations, luring them back to his apartment for sex. While engaged in sexual activity with his victims, he would bite through their throats, killing them. He dismembered their bodies and dumped the remains in the Leine River. Some rumors exist that he also cut meat off their bones and sold it as pork to unsuspecting residents in his neighborhood, but there isn't much evidence of that actually happening. His live-in lover didn't participate in the crimes, but would sell the victims' clothing after the deed had been done. When human remains began washing ashore in 1924, the police dragged the riverbed and found more than 500 bones, which came from at least 22 different people. Haarmann's earlier convictions for molestation made him a prime suspect, and a surveillance operation caught him at a railway station trying to lure a boy back to his apartment. His home was searched and bloodstains were found on the walls, which he claimed were due to him being a black market butcher. But he couldn't explain why the effects of known victims were in his apartment, and he finally confessed to sexually assaulting, killing, and dismembering somewhere between 50 and 70 boys and young men. The police tied him definitively to 27 murders, but they never did find the original owners of most of the items discovered in his possession. He was tried in a sensational case, with the press referring to him as a vampire and werewolf, but sort of settling on the nickname of the Butcher of Hanover. He was found guilty of 24 murders and sentenced to death. His lover was also convicted in 2 of the cases and served 12 years in prison. Haarmann was executed via guillotine in 1925, with his head kept in a jar at the Göttingen Medical School until 2015. The classic Fritz Lang film M, starring Peter Lorre, is based on the crimes of Haarmann. And to Friedrich Haarmann I say, happy birthday, you bastard.